Hi, Mom.
Oh, you missed the best 5
all right.
minutes of the show right there.
Yes, Mom, they are. And my values are the exact same.
I don't know. I don't think mine are. Because I feel like you can sit in a room somewhere and learn a bunch of information, but there's only so much stuff that someone could say during, you know, one of those breakout sessions or something when you're at like a lunch and learn or you're at.
Of course, our good friends at Steph's Bookkeeping, great ribbon
Getting distracted and just tell your story.
And we sent them flying. Well, that was the new intro.
That is. That's the new intro.
That was the new intro.
It's been the first time all of us seeing the new intro.
I liked it.
A whole new experience.
It's good, right?
I really liked it. Loved it.
Shout out to Drew. Drew Cappuccino did a ton of work on that. So it's
way
cool.
to go, Drew.
Yep,
way to go, Drew. Very, very, very forward. I loved the little snippets because there were some that were just spot on.
That's it.
Okay. So we have an impromptu guest today.
Hey, long time listener, April. She's been a guest
prior guest and prior guest
here and there, now and again.
Rich, we're on the show.
Welcome in, Rich.
You want to be on speaker?
Rich is obviously a teacher.
So Rich may not be a teacher. He's a let me do it myself. That's what I peg Rich as.
So Rich is a better teacher than I.
Interesting.
Like
really.
So April and I talked.
Wait, time out. Let's actually introduce what the show is.
So
we're talking.
We had a very chaotic green room. Two of us were in the green room together. The other one was not. So,
but I said I have my points, and I'm very good at winging it.
So today is, are you a teacher?
Or a preacher.
And I'm going to say.
Or a do-it-yourselfer.
Based upon the fact that I needed to eat/drink my feelings before I came on the show today, I am not a teacher. I have came to that realization and I have accepted this in my life. I am not a teacher. I am a more of slap the squeegee out your hand kind of person, and I will just fucking do
it. Why are there squeegees in people's hands?
There's always squeegees.
You do bookkeeping.
I think I may have identified your first problem.
Hang on, let's go back to Rich. Let's ease into the topic. So, you think Rich is a teacher?
Yeah.
I picture him more as like being a do-it-yourselfer.
Like, I feel like, you know how like we've talked several times about Kent and the math homework?
Yeah.
Okay. And he just says the same thing, but louder and slower. Like, that is me.
2 Red Balls.
Okay.
Rich, though, can actually do the math homework with the kids.
Does that make? There's 3 things here.
But
you just eliminated one of them.
But they retain what he's saying, so he's clearly a teacher. If you're retaining the knowledge and being able to execute,
a professor, people retain knowledge from professors all the time.
But the execute part, though, like if they retain and execute, you learn from
people execute from professors all the time.
I've had some shitty ass professors.
I've had some shitty ass teachers.
So, but I'm just
in elementary school.
But I'm just saying, if somebody
level of education,
if I could say something to someone and explain the process from A to Z, and you be able to then execute, I feel like I'm a teacher.
That's a professor too.
But if I am just gonna say it slower and louder in the same way and not be able to pivot to your learning style, I don't feel like I'm necessarily a teacher in that specific category.
take a phone call real
Okay,
quick?
go
I
ahead.
apologize.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's like, this is getting intense. I'm out.
It's crazy already.
So let's define teacher professor. Because we all understand do-it-yourselfer, right?
Right. But like, I feel like if you're teaching somebody something, whether you're a professor or a teacher or whatever, you're their Yoda. I don't really care what you are to them. But if you're able to explain something to someone in a way that they retain the knowledge and then can execute said task, you're a teacher or a professor or a Yoda or whatever you want to insert into that thing.
All you're saying is general people.
If I say something to you,
we actually should change it because my wife and I had this conversation on the way down from Wisconsin this morning that it really is. We put in the post, it's a preacher. Right?
Yeah, a preacher.
Versus a teacher.
Yeah.
Right? So I was thinking professor or lecturer, right? Like that. Yeah. So here's let me and I didn't mean to cut you off, but here's my thoughts on teacher, professor.
See? Gabby understands Yoda.
Yoda master, whatever. Or preacher.
Mm-hmm.
A teacher is somebody that teaches and tells people what to do and how to do it, but then also follows up.
Okay.
Where a professor doesn't necessarily care to follow up. It's, I'm telling you this, or a preacher.
Right. Same thing. They profess. They stand
there, they tell you what's up, and then they say, it's on you now.
Yeah.
Right.
You do, you don't, you don't.
I'm with you on that.
So that to me is the difference between teacher and preacher, professor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right? Or lecturer. Right? Whatever. It's you do what you want with this knowledge. Then there's do-it-yourselfer. Right? And so that's kind of where I think I want to make sure we understand where we're at. Yeah. Our quote unquote boundaries. So if I were to say what Rich is, I would more picture him as a professor preacher rather than a teacher, because I feel like he's more the kind of guy that says, go do it. Here's how to do it. Go do it. You don't? Peace.
He has much more patience. So I feel like he falls under the teacher category. Like he
just comes off as a tough man.
Yeah. He has much more patience.
He's got a lot of patience.
And he can, I mean, he's clearly married to me. He has a lot of patience.
That is a great point.
But so I feel like he has the ability to pivot his teaching style to cater to the student.
Which like he a professor can do if the student comes to the professor. Or
he
the
could
preacher comes to the preacher.
He could acknowledge if you're not retaining the information, he can pivot into a different thing immediately and show you some other way.
Okay.
Like me, I'm very black and white. Like, this is it. Like, if you don't get it, then you don't fucking get it. Pick a different career.
That to me is a hard professor versus a soft professor. The difference, I think, to make it a teacher is the teacher follows up.
Yeah, like
Does he follow up?
Yeah.
Okay, then he's a teacher.
Yeah, Rich is a teacher. I am not.
Guess what I learned?
Clear.
Oh, I'm not.
No.
So
like
professor preacher.
If April makes it back before the end of the show, she is a teacher. Like she can go through the details of something with somebody, not get frustrated, have patience, and give a different perspective that's productive.
But does she follow up?
Yeah.
Then yes.
What'd you have to say, Kent?
Basically what I was going to say is I think a teacher gets in there and snuggles in next to you and gets in the trenches with you. Right. Mm-hmm. Hey, and I'm here and I'll help you. You know what I mean? And I think a professor or a preacher is like, hey, man, get off the pedestal. Don't bother me till next week. You know what I mean? And to that point, it's like, I don't understand how you don't get this. I literally just told you.
Which hang on, though. There are professors that will take your questions and try to pose it in a different way or have a one-on-one with you.
Yeah, right? but they're not getting next to you and using the scissors and cutting on the line with you.
No, because that's a teacher who's going to follow up and make sure that you get it done.
Right.
right?
Right.
A teacher follows up.
So do you feel, now that we've kind of defined like the categories, do you feel like as a business owner, it would be, so I'm more of a preacher professor.
Mm-hmm.
So then my right hand general needs to be a teacher in order to make our team.
I think that's second part of the show.
Well-rounded.
I agree
Because
with that statement.
You can't have only professors and then expect people to learn and understand the industry and or the like your SOPs and all of the things.
That would be like a teacher's assistant or a professor's assistant or whatever, right?
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. I feel like my right hand needs to be complementary to where I lack my skill.
Your left hand.
Well, I'm left-handed though. I need a right hand.
Right.
My right hand doesn't work. My left hand works.
So, yes, I agree with you.
Like, I feel like you have to hire somebody that would complement you in that category in order to make your team well-rounded. Because you're going to have team members that learn from a professor strategy and you give them the basic template and then they're just, boom, gone, hit the ground running, understand, can make it their own. Then you have people that need that hand-holding a little bit more, in a little bit more detail, and a little bit more in the what-if world of things. And I don't have the patience for the what-if world. I don't have I don't have it with my children, and I can't have it with adults.
So
it's not possible.
Here's what I would say. In my mind, there's 2 points of thought to that statement. One is you can round out your abilities, inabilities, right? Or B, you can get everybody that is on the same page as you. Meaning, if I'm a do-it-myselfer and I go, I got to do it myself. Boop, boop, boop. I'm doing it myself. Then I get another do-it-themselfer that says I can do it myself. And I go, great, I need you to go do this. And they do it themselves and they figure it out.
So I feel like this next question.
Wait, let me hang on.
Is a follow-up to what you're saying. But
so if I were to get everybody that or whatever, there are certain ways that can complicate things, but for the most part, I agree with you. You have to be able to round out yourself or find people that cater to your weaknesses, whether or not it's preaching or whatever. Because I have some humans that I can preach to them and they take it and they literally do it themselves and they can go.
Okay. So how much do those ones cost versus the people that need the teachers? Because I feel like the do-it-yourselfer employees are much more expensive dollar per hour, not from a cost perspective of losing money from a company. I'm just saying that like they demand a higher fee than somebody that would like a teacher.
But their efficiency is so much better.
Sometimes.
Correct. If you're tracking,
like I feel like sometimes when you have like a do-it-yourselfer kind of team, you have so many rogue agents, because I know that I was definitely a rogue agent as an employee. Like I kind of
okay.
So I look at this
as glass half full, not
glass. I mean, I'm not looking at it as half empty. I'm
saying if the glass is this, your glass is half full. Like
this.
the
fact that
it's full up and down.
I know that I have BDE. Like I know, but if I come in,
oh my god, the door on the sign on Carrie's door says like BDE, or she signed something the other day. It was like, hey, you need to do this, BDE.
But like, if I go into a situation and I'm going to bullshit my way into a situation, okay? Let's say I'm going into a unknown territory and I'm going to bullshit my way in there. I'm confident enough in my abilities to demand a fee to then from there be able to execute said fee. Based upon, if you give me a baseline as my professor, give me a baseline, I could then turn it into and make it my own. But that is a cost. As a business owner, those employees are far and few between, and they cost a high dollar. if you have employees that are more what I would call a beta variety, that like the teacher, that like the hand holding, they're willing to accept a lesser pay because they're less confident in their skill set.
Agreed.
So like if I know that I'm not a teacher and I'm a preacher, if I am
Hang on,
not having that middleman.
Are you a minister or a minister?
No.
So I am. So you're a professor.
Professor.
I'm a
Okay.
preacher.
So if I'm a professor and I don't have that middleman or woman or whatever as a teacher to buffer that experience,
yep,
I have to hire then either I have to be able to hire beta employees with the potential of becoming alphas, or I need to have that buffer to only hire then betas.
I look at it as a different perspective, not alpha versus beta. What I look at it as is,
What are you going to sharks and minnows? What do you want to call it?
IQ. I look at IQ.
I don't think it's IQ. I think it's drive.
Well,
I feel like they're different.
Well, drive. Drive
I
is
could
something.
be the most book smart person and be like so fucking smart, like you wouldn't believe. But put me in an environment where I'm on the streets, I'm gonna get mugged, like murdered and raped, all in about 5 minutes.
Oh my god, I have the story for you about that.
So I'm just saying, like,
I can't tell the story. I could, but anyway.
I'm just saying, like I could be the most, like, the smartest, most educated person on the topic, but if I don't have common sense or street smarts or whatever word you want to insert there,
I'm not arguing with that.
They're never going to go beyond a certain level.
But IQ is the ability to learn. So if somebody has the ability to learn and they show
everybody has the ability to learn.
With how much ability to learn?
It's drive.
Okay. We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
All right. So,
what?
Agree with you.
Yeah. Chime in here because clearly we're running down a rabbit hole that we need to divert a little bit from. But
I agree. I agree with the drive part because I have hired a ton of smart people in my day who get analysis paralysis. Right. But I've also hired a lot of dumb people in my day who are just like driven and want to climb that ladder and do things. I'm
not arguing with you there, right? Like to me, it's that balance of how to be the best at who you are, right? I'm not arguing with that statement or that statement. I'm arguing with, right, like the fact that, like, no, you could hire somebody, they can come in, if they can just know how to absorb from somebody that tells them something and says, go, I don't care who they are. It's as long as they learn how to do it.
So
you're saying you're a professor or a preacher
because I'm
right.
So what
you got the license?
What are the learning methods? There's visual learners, there's hands-on learners, and then there's what?
Written, oral, visual, hands-on.
Okay.
Right? Like those would be kind of like the main points you get, but then you can talk about like the blend. That's always a blend.
Right, but like based upon like your teaching method in particular, like when you hire a new employee and you're bringing them in and giving them the basics of your SOPs, what learning style do you jive with the best or mesh well with the best?
Probably the exact same way because we're doing CE classes. So I'm teaching insurance agents CE classes. And so when I do that, I am basically like getting up there and have to talk for a certain amount of time or whatever. And so to me, I will be very active, very
So are you
physical.
A note taker?
Like in class when I'm a student?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So how do you learn? How do you learn the best?
How'd you know? How do I learn the best?
Yeah.
One-on-one interaction. I want to have
right. He loves he'll sit and listen to a preacher or a professor.
Based upon them doing or you doing?
Not really. I don't really want to sit and listen to people. I want to actually have a one-on-one interaction. I will learn more from me and you talking this way
Right.
I learned so much from this.
So like verbally, you can learn and retain.
Yeah, because then I can do this and I can get
right. Okay.
very
so then when you come across somebody that's a visual learner and you have to just show and not really talk.
Very good at that.
Can you teach somebody a skill based upon
yes.
Like if you're
I could teach anybody
verbal learner.
I could teach anybody anything. Learner. I could teach anybody anything.
So you're a teacher and not a preacher then?
Well, no, I'm going to preach to them. Because I'm going to learn on what they're saying and I'm going to bounce back and forth, which a teacher or preacher should do.
He's not a show, tell. He's a tell.
But here's the thing is I'm going to give you that first interaction, that second interaction. Every time you come back to me, I'm going to give you the interaction when you're in front of me because I'm a one-on-one.
Derek.
Shut up, Derek.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you for clarifying. Derek says he learns his golf swing when I show him what to do. Thank you.
So here's the thing.
Joe is a visual learner.
And
well,
Shannon says
I'm a hands-on
hand gestures.
I'm a hands-on learner, whatever. But what I'm saying though is when I teach other people, that's who I am.
Well, so like when
I will preach to other people, I will teach to other people, I will profess to other people. But if I'm not following up, when the session's over, I walk away.
So like I will ask somebody when I sit down with them, how do you learn? Are you a visual, verbal, or whatever? I will ask them, how do you learn? And then I will show them based upon the learning style that they requested. And if you do not then execute based upon me catering to your learning style, we're done. Like, I don't know what else to do with you beyond that. Like, I could follow up with you.
Okay.
But beyond that, like, you told me you were visual. You told me you like to break it and fix it. Okay. Cool.
You're back?
Holy
I was handling some business.
Yay.
Were you teaching, preaching, or doing it yourself?
I was teaching.
Way to go. That's because you followed up.
But so like if I
you weren't here for the beginning part of the show.
So you
don't know. Should we start from the beginning?
But so like if I ask you, how do you learn? You tell me.
It doesn't matter to me. I learn from one-on-one.
I'm guessing it's the hard way every time.
Shh.
But if you tell me that you're a visual learner and you learn from viewing me doing the work and you're going to take notes. Okay, so fine. I will do the work. You take your notes. And then now I catered to your style. And if you then cannot execute after that, you lied. That's the way I feel.
So here's the deal. Then you are a preacher.
Well, I know I am. 100%.
Right.
I never claimed to be a teacher. Like I am a horrible teacher.
She started off saying she was.
So when you were
the title of the show is like Steph's a teacher or preacher.
So when you left, we defined teacher versus preacher, professor, whatever, and then we obviously know do-it-yourselfer, right?
Yeah.
So teacher, preacher, professor is somebody that will explain everything to you. Right. If you go back to them,
pushed out the nest.
And then, if you go back to them, they may have a conversation with you, right? Because you're coming back to them and you're asking for it. Right. And they may change a little or describe it different, whatever. But a teacher actually physically follows up with you or whatever. Right. That's kind of the difference is the post soapboxing, because every teacher still soapbox. They still get up as a teacher and you give the lesson plan.
But I don't feel like I'm on a soapbox. I asked you. Right, Kent, though? Like, I asked you.
I don't say soapbox is in like this is blah, blah,
I asked
blah.
you how you wanted me to show you something. And you told me I showed you. And if you can't execute based upon the way you requested, that's on you. That's not on me.
That's a preacher or a professor. You're a professor.
A preacher has their platform, and they have their perspective, and they have their way to do the thing, and they're going to tell you their way to do the thing as if it's the only way to do the thing. A teacher understands that people have different ways of learning and different ways of hearing and different styles of communication, and a teacher knows the importance of knowing your audience before you start giving your lesson. I don't think it has to do with the follow-up. The follow-up is on the student, whether they're a the student or the listener, whatever you want to
God,
say.
no, I had so many teachers follow up with me.
I don't think
Still
it's
do.
Because you have
teacher's
ADHD.
but it's not the teacher's responsibility to follow up with
Barely
you.
graduated.
That's your responsibility to follow up.
Oh, I
If
agree.
you don't
Unless you're like, that's like, I'm talking like elementary school. Like, that's like the beginning is teaching. Like, all teaching. It doesn't matter.
Business.
We're talking about business.
Well, any
business
teaching.
leader.
But
Well,
even
we're not
like
in the
in
context of
a business
we're not
setting,
talking
though,
about
like
children.
if you tell me,
There's children in business.
But
I know, I'm sure you know quite a few children that run businesses.
I do. And while I am absolutely a teacher, it is not my responsibility to police them and make sure they do the things that I collaborated and taught them.
well,
Now, as
Interesting.
from a
Okay.
compliance perspective, I'm the police in my job.
Okay, so that might be
I'm
where
corporate.
that to me is that's follow up. That's follow up.
That's compliance. That's
No,
not
that's-
most of what I teach is not compliance. Compliance is letter of the law. Like you have to do these things. The teaching that I do, either from a sales perspective or from a consulting perspective, is a collaborative effort with the student, my franchisees, where they need to accomplish a goal and we figure out the goal is and we work it backward and figure out the steps we need to do, but we do it together in their way of learning, whether it's I need to log into your website and show you, or I just need to send you a bullet pointed list with some hyperlinks because you're very good at doing it yourself. Like there's different levels. But
so you feel that's the
follow
difference.
up, unless we have planned to follow up, which we often do, I don't think that it is my responsibility to make sure they do everything I told them to do.
So if the student
Because they're a
doesn't
business owner.
understand, like you gotta.
I agree with that.
Well, it's just like I think
Well,
when
that's an adult student.
well,
But
it's
we're
just
not talking
like
about children. We're talking
I
about
was
adults.
kind of,
well, like
you know,
the other day, a client sent an email saying, "Well, this is mandated about something." Okay, well, you're a business owner. Like, I will add that item to the chart of accounts and make sure that you could account for it. But like, you need to know what is for your business. I'm not your Yoda for your business. I am a bookkeeper.
Yeah. Shayna says, if I hired you, I am prepared to take the fail if you do. A poor choice costs time and money. Have you looked at using MBTI personality tests?
I know.
What
So where
I know.
Gavin, my oldest, works, they do personality tests in the hiring process.
We were told, does April, do you guys do personality tests?
We absolutely do personality tests
Yeah.
before we issue franchise licenses.
Sure.
Yeah.
So here, let's put it into a business concept real quick. But first, let's just throw this up here, folks.
Straight up from.
Take a look. If you've missed any episodes, if you've been on an episode, if you want to know more about In the Know with Steph and Joe, go out to Spotify. Listen on Spotify. Just search In the Know Steph Joe, right?
Oh, I like that.
In the Know Steph Joe. And you can go and you'll see when you get there, there's just a ton of all of their shows. We put them in there.
Wow.
Check them out, like
all
them,
those.
share them, listen, laugh, cry, whatever. But it's a great thing, and check them out on Spotify. They're soon to be out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. So we're working on that. So support them and do good stuff. So here's a question for all of you. You have hired, you're business owners, and you have hired a sales coach.
A coach?
Yes, a sales coach.
Yes.
They could be remote. They could be
Sorry.
close. Okay, are those sales coaches teachers, professors, or preachers, or are they? Let me show you how this is done.
If that's to me good, medium, or bad.
Yep. But which one are which?
Good as a teacher.
Which one are they?
Thank you. We're working our way down.
Okay.
Good as a teacher.
Bad as a preacher, in my opinion, and medium would be that they're going to do it themselves. I guess you might get some sales under your employee, but you might get something out of it.
Do it
They're just
yourself.
yelling at you and telling
Yeah,
you.
do it
their
yourself.
way of-
No, but preacher, like again, there are good preachers.
That was
good,
the
good
Inside
professors.
Jokes show.
That's right. The Inside
Shayna.
Joke Show is the weird traveling box. It's out there. Right. So as business owners, you hire employees around how you relay the information, I think, right? Hey, Eric Bam's wearing bedazzled pants.
Yeah, I really need
Pizza Friday.
Do we really
Pictures-
want? Do we really
Pictures
want?
or didn't really happen.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
In the
Post a picture in the comments.
That's right.
Come on.
Um,
Pizza Friday.
Jeez, Louise.
So right. So what is it? When you hire a sales coach, what are they?
If you want it to be effective, they need to be a teacher.
They do need to follow up.
Again,
So
I
here's
can't,
here's what I
I can't
think.
be in a room full of adults and be the responsible one to follow up. Like, you're a business owner, you want your business to succeed. It's your business, not my business. I'm getting paid regardless of your success.
I agree.
Like, be a fucking adult.
But as
Like,
a
you're not in
teacher,
grammar school
as
anymore.
a good teacher, you're going not follow up, but you're going to
You
set
can't-
the agenda.
You can't
You're going
put,
to set the next
No.
meeting. You're
No.
going to what?
You can't
as a
put
business
your
coach-
success as a business owner on somebody else's shoulders. It is on
I
you.
agree.
It
I
is
agree.
your EIN. It is your name. You sign those papers.
Amen.
I agree.
Like,
Hang
no.
on.
in school right now.
I
Like,
have a question.
Joe,
I
you
have a
have your hand up.
it was a very aggressive green room, Derek. Sorry.
So
Too much tequila.
Thank you. So hang on. If I am a professor, I'm going to go there and tell them what to do. I'm not going to schedule the next meeting.
Doesn't
Like-
the professor have a test? That's their follow up. So you're allowed.
Well,
to
I'm gonna make it. I'm not gonna whatever. But like, I'm not like the agenda's barely. A teacher really sets the agenda, right? Grades papers, does all this. A professor does the same. There's good professors, there's bad professors, there's good teachers, there's bad teachers, right? Like we're
But
tussling
so,
with
like,
what
okay,
the
so, like, for
terminology is.
example, I had training with a client.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's not really like a client. It was a referral from somebody that needed assistance on QuickBooks training. I did 3 sessions of training. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Then we had our 4th session, and I was like, why am I on this call if you haven't done any of the homework that I assigned to you? You are now wasting my time, and I am going to allocate an hour to this call that's going to be 15 minutes. Like, you have no follow-up questions. You've done none of the work. So why are you wasting my time
So you're a
as
professor.
an industry expert?
You're a professor.
Well, I'm just saying I'm an industry expert as it pertains to bookkeeping and the general accepted accounting principles. So if you come to me as a business owner and you have these questions, I tell you, I look at your stuff, I tell you what you need to do. Yeah. I look at all your junk and I'm like, you could do this, this, and this to improve the visual on your junk. And you do nothing. Now you've wasted my time. Now I'm over it.
But I'm paying you for your time.
I don't really care. You could pay me like $700 an hour, and I really don't care. Like, if you are wasting my,
I know.
I'm
Like, it's
just
still,
saying,
but like she gets
But
so
no,
heated
if
about
you're not you're wasting
somebody
time.
that
like
is-
you're wasting money and you're wasting time in your business. If you have no intentions of changing, growing, and improving as an owner, then don't waste anybody's time. Take the L and become an employee.
Yeah.
What?
She,
You know what the kids would do?
you want to know?
They
You
would
want to
snap.
hang
They
on,
would
hang on,
snap.
hang on. You want to know what I would say to that is
Like, if you want to
be
learn
happy.
something,
Wait, be happy. There's people out there because that makes
Yes.
us that are successful business owners in a smaller majority than those that are in
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
what they're saying.
Eric's saying to Steph's like, I don't really know you, but I feel like you don't have the heart to
I
serve.
didn't know you serve. Do you
But-
serve?
But then he's like, you do a lot of telling and not a lot of teaching. And that's what she said. She's a preacher.
I
That's
don't
her
feel
style.
like it's not a lot of like I will tell you everything that I know about your particular industry and how to structure things to be successful, and I will look at your financials, I will give you feedback, and I will do all the things. But if you're not going to do the things to learn and understand, like, I can't help you.
Which
I can't fix stupid.
Which
and that's
to
the way
me,
I feel.
to me, that I agree with that. I'm like, every class has kids that don't succeed.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter.
Again, adults, focusing on adults.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Every
just saying,
class has
everything
adults
adults.
that don't succeed.
I
Right?
feel like if your business doesn't succeed after you seek industry specific assistance, it's you.
Hang on.
You're
okay.
the common denominator of failure.
This is a great example.
Just like if April and I were talking, and if I have an employee that fails, it's me.
Agreed.
I am the failure.
Let's talk statistics. So
she's an angry little elf.
How did you know I'm
Sammy. Wow, he's on it. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
All right. So April.
My mom will agree with everything I'm saying.
Oh God! Just because you said that, she's not. All right, April.
My Aunt Sharon's watching too, so she better agree.
So here's the deal.
She was aggressive the way I am in teaching.
You are from a franchise of similar industries as me, right? And when you guys bring on a group, franchise owners, new franchise owners, do you have a class that each month, right? So do we. So when they do that, there's always a certain number of people that do not succeed, right?
Eventually, yes.
Because they
right. Eventually, yeah. Business owner is not like, hey, you got to go from the start line to the finish line and you're done. It's like, hey, go to the start line and just keep fucking running, right? That's business ownership until you decide that. I think I brought it up before. You're either going to die, you're going to sell it, or you're going to go bankrupt. Those are the only 3 outcomes for you and your ownership.
And it dying or being sold. So it's you're dying or selling.
Or you're going bankrupt.
Well, the franchise.
He's talking about actually.
I'm talking about the business, right? The business from you as a personal owner. When you buy it, you're dying and the business is being transferred.
Ken has a question.
Yeah, I understand. I saw it and I'm ignoring. Yeah. Keep it up. I'm seeing how long the student has endurance. But to me, those are the 3 outcomes. So when you get a group of business owners that go through like a training for, whatever your new franchisees, right? We have the same thing. I went through a training with 4 other owners, right? And when we did it, we were very young as a franchise. And when we did it, there were 4 other owners. All 4 are gone.
Except for you.
Correct. 4 other owners.
Is that on them or is that on the teacher?
Correct.
I feel like it's on them.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say both. I'm going to say both.
No.
We had a very different training program back then.
I feel like when you're dealing with kids, it's very different. Like when I'm dealing with Eli, who's in 3rd grade, and we're talking homework and we're talking development and we're talking things, it's very different. I am much softer with him. But when I'm talking to an adult that decided, if an adult decides to get an EIN and be a business owner, you have to step up your game. Like you don't have a choice.
Same with that.
Like I'm not saying you have to be an industry expert because you opened your business because you have a passion in restoration or you have a passion but I'm just saying you have a passion in plumbing or you have a passion in marketing or you have a passion in legal services or you like that's your specialty, that's your knowledge, that's whatever. But as a business owner, you're going to then offboard these other skills that you're not well versed in to either hiring an employee or outsourcing to a professional service industry.
Totally. If you're smart.
But if you want to learn something, you have to have a passion to have the desire to learn. Like I hate marketing. It's the bane of my existence. When my marketing
You do it so good though.
Yeah. When my marketing person emails
Thanks,
me,
Mom.
I don't read the emails. Like the marketing person emails me, I don't read the emails. I don't want to learn that space. I don't want to know that space. I hired you. I pay you X amount a month for whatever.
Okay,
fucking
then
handle it.
you are.
So I'm just saying.
What?
But
Hang on, though.
But
Then
on
you
the
can
flip
get
side of
taken
it,
advantage of.
whatever. I like the company I have right now. I have no problems with that. So like,
there are moments that trust is important in business.
but like,
I agree.
But
I
like,
agree.
so,
but I just say you
but
need
I'm
to
just
be
saying, as an
semi-knowledgeable
owner,
to know.
but
that
as
the
an
trust is
owner
there.
in accounting, I own an accounting practice. Some people niche down and they only service real estate clients, or they only service construction, or they only service whatever professional services. We have chosen not to niche down. So I've been forced to learn industries that I was not versed in prior to opening up Steph's bookkeeping service.
What's the most risque business you've learned?
Executive companions.
I don't even.
Chirp,
Sounds like
They were
friends that want their number.
They were in Vegas, but so.
Thank you. There was a long pause right after that.
But I'm just saying, because I have a passion in accounting, and the basic accounting principles are what they are. They're black and white, no matter the industry. There are unique things to specific industries, but I have had to learn those in order to be able to service those industries.
Like chart of accounts or something like that.
Yeah, like whatever, like their chart of accounts, their expenses versus their cost of goods sold to get their gross profit margins, and et cetera, et cetera. I have chosen to learn those things in order to service multiple industries. It's a passion. I enjoy bookkeeping.
You're a multi-service.
So I can do that.
So Eric says that I think passion is overrated. Passion comes and goes.
Oh man, dude, you just barked a little elf.
Consistency to do it when you don't want to do it, right?
No, because if I don't want to do it, like I won't do
you
it.
Sparked her. Damn.
I'm now ducking behind the desk.
Thank you.
I don't want to get caught in the crossfire.
Eric just.
I strongly disagree, because if I don't have passion for something and feel something, like I won't do it.
Here's the joy.
No matter how much money it potentially could make me, I won't fucking do it.
I agree with you there.
I won't learn it. I won't.
I will agree with you there.
I'll challenge this comment.
Ooh.
Okay, give me.
You're challenging his comment?
Challenging both of you right
now. Okay.
Okay, so example.
Do.
The passion is not necessarily the work that you are doing. Maybe the passion is the fact that you like to go on vacation a lot.
But it's still passion.
And it is a passion, and you like to fund that passion.
Mm-hmm.
You will do what you got to do to fund your vacation fund. And I know you, girl. And you will. And I am the same.
I will learn everything.
But that's passion. And his first statement is, I think passion is overrated.
If I wasn't passionate about my vacations,
you just said you won't do it if you're not passionate.
Yeah, I won't.
And my challenge is,
I'm passionate about vacations.
I'm talking about the defining the passion.
Totally.
A lot of times when we just blanket statement that, it sounds like, oh, I don't have passion for my work. Well, you really don't always have to have passion for your work if you have passion for your greater goal. My greater goal is to retire early and very comfortably, to travel and to put my kids through college and make sure they're cool, and to kind of start like a generational thing that has never happened in my family before. So I started buying rental properties. I do all these things. Like it? Do you know what that phone call was? One of my tenants wanting to, talk to me about a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't really feel like talking about. But you know what? I talked to him. He's a great tenant. Like, we have a good relationship, and I'm going to have a conversation on the phone that I don't really want to have, because I want him to stay and I want everybody to be happy, because I'm making money to pay for the things I need to pay for, to do what I'm really passionate about.
So your passion is what drives you. And I think
that is important.
That's what matters. There are people that don't have passion to drive them.
There you go, Eric.
Hot smoking my kids.
That's his wife. That's his wife. Passion for hot smoking and my kids. They are what
I'm confused. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Cheers to that.
So exactly what I'm saying is, you still have to have passion. You can't just.
You won't even get out of bed our age.
And hang on. And some people don't.
Agreed.
So
wait, who doesn't have passion?
At your age.
People who are depressed.
No, there are people that are half my age that don't
There's
get out of bed.
people that get up and listlessly.
Let's
drive
not
to-
drag ourselves.
Time to make the
down. We're all
donuts.
passionate
All
humans.
right. So first of all, I'm going to lay this out there. All three of you have excellent businesses, and your turnover is very, very low, right? So you're a teacher, preacher, or get out of my way, take the squeegee and do it. Is very good, right?
Yeah.
What is George
Yes,
saying?
we do all those things in some form or fashion for
So
ourselves.
what does George say? Passion is. Oh.
Yeah, so he says passion is what gets you into an industry or a life choice. Motivation is what keeps you going at times you don't want to, like this afternoon when I should be working but find myself distracted by a very interesting podcast.
Oh, you guys, George called us interesting.
That's right.
I don't know.
George has been a guest on this
Sure.
show.
Yeah.
And
We're
then-
only
and then Eric
interesting
just-
because
And then Eric just
we're
says-
only interesting because y'all had an interesting pre-show.
and Eric just
Green room.
says Keebler elves make cookies and trees with passion.
That's
Yeah.
what we do. And
See, there's
executive
passion
communication
everywhere.
But here's what I'm
It
saying.
keeps the
About
cogs.
doing
It
their
keeps
jobs.
the cogs moving.
Here's
in
what
the
I'm-
machine.
People are passionate. It doesn't matter what they want to do.
Here's what I'm saying.
Period.
I think depending on the industry that you're in, depends on what type of a leader you are, a teacher, preacher, or give me the squeegee and get out of the way. So a business to business, which is what you are, Steph, straight B2B, right? Is you and your team loves you, but you don't have time to deal with, this is a spreadsheet. You know what I mean?
There's not a lot of warm and fuzzy going on.
There's not.
in the B2B world.
In what you guys, you're both B2B and B2C because of kind of what you do, right?
You're B2B now.
Yeah, you're
fully.
B2B now.
Well, I'm B2B.
You're
Yes. My
F to
world
B.
is
Right.
I am a franchisor to franchisee, but it is a B2B industry that I'm in.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think there's differences. You'll say that you are a teacher through and through, April, right? Because you understand how people learn, right? And you say, I've got a card, so I'm a preacher, right? But somebody on your
Card-carrying
team,
preacher.
but I can guarantee you, somebody in your team is a teacher, because they've got to be able to show these people what and how to pick up brain matter, right?
That's what I said. Like, I know that I'm a professor, so I need a teacher on my team that's
Right.
my right hand, because I will tell you something in one way or your style of learning, but if you don't pick it up from there, like, I need somebody else. But it's also, I feel like then spills over into managerial styles of just in general. Like, it was something that April and I were talking in the green room, that I will let you have enough rope to hang yourself with. If I have to then,
So much the
Sucks to
same.
hear this.
I'm so much
But
the
if I-
same.
but if I have to micromanage you, I will slap the squeegee out your hand and cut you loose.
Yes, I'm so
for-
much the
For
same.
personal development and growth, I need to find a style in the middle of what I'm accustomed to versus that.
Yeah.
With
Eric says, I think effort plus opportunity equals results. Put the work with passion or without in the right things, and good things happen.
And
Yeah.
that is the
Right.
that is
I
the
mean-
view
Now-
from a great employee.
I'm very fortunate that my team is
Views it that way.
like, they are very accustomed to me.
Yeah.
Like,
Your team loves you. Yeah.
like, they
I'm
understand.
very
I could
Or
give
they're all
them-
very scared to leave.
You want to know what's funny? Is,
I could give them
I'm very
very-
fortunate. All my employees aren't accustomed to me.
They don't
And
even
only
know
a
who you
select
are.
few are.
They don't even know really who you are.
They don't. Where we got a dunk tank, and none of them voted. They were all allowed to vote for 3 people in the company to be dunked. Only one person voted for me, and the rest were all
Way
Carrie,
to
my
go,
wife,
Carrie.
and
Carrie.
Josh.
Yeah, way to go,
Probably,
Carrie.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I should have looked at the
ballot.
handwriting better and seen. Yeah.
What does
probably
Eric
was.
say?
He says, quote, I'll give you enough rope to hang yourself with. This is the most awful thing to say. That says, I'll wait for you to fail. Never say that.
It's not that
no,
I'm waiting for
it's
you
accurate.
to fail. It's that I feel like I've given you enough instruction to push you out the nest. And then from there,
So it's
Well,
not a
either-
rope. It's like
You're
just a
either
long
gonna-
drop. Spread your wings or don't.
right.
Right? That's more kind of a glass.
Yeah, she's not going to give you a rope to tie a knot and hang on and be useless to her business. Doesn't have
Like
time for that.
No.
like I've given you enough knowledge and enough
Yeah.
ability to execute, and now it's up to you to actually
Jump
like,
out the nest, spread
Right.
your wings, and fly.
It's the same thing I feel like with my kids. Like I've taught you these basic life skills to not die. So now here you go.
I'm pushing you off on a bike
Like-
without training wheels.
Like,
What?
don't die.
Teacher, this is two professors talking, and this is the teacher
well,
responding.
April's saying because
I'm not going to give my kid a knot to hang on to it. Get out of here right
Are
now.
you kidding
Both of
me?
you with this.
My dad gave me the
Both of your
tallest tree
girls-
with a knot and said, "Here's one
Both of
knot.
your
Hang
girls
on
are
and swing
so
out over the pond."
independent.
Thank you. I'm a great teacher.
Right. Like you gave them
I'm going to leave the room.
I'm just saying that you gave
Hey.
your girls enough life skills to be successful
Yeah,
with
Take a bow.
the
Take a
tools.
bow.
certainly did.
Yeah.
Take
But
a bow.
So like
they
I
needed to be.
I'm not saying that I don't
They're
let
welcome back.
They're allowed to turn
I'm
around
not
when
saying
they're
that they
flying.
can't.
Come
I'm
back.
Yeah, like
in a
it's-
professional setting, I don't necessarily allow the turnaround.
Right.
But like
So-
with my kids, yes. Like I allow I have a
we did a multiple
We just
level
did a-
digression just now.
Yes,
Where
yes.
we went from talking about, I
We
think,
just-
clients.
He hit 12
You-
trees on the way,
Oh,
12
wait,
branches
wait,
on the way down.
Wait.
sometimes you have to fall and get back up. Like I
okay,
mean, I've
but-
been through a lot of shit in my 40 years of life. And like my mom was there and she helped me through a lot of it, but also she needed to take a step back and let me get up. It's
Which,
the same thing.
is
But
what
you got to get
a
up.
teacher. Well, it's to
You
me,
got to
again,
teach somebody how to fish at a point. Like I can't give
You gotta
all you.
let
all I
you
do
teach
is
it. We're
teach
all
them how to
we're
fish.
teaching them how to fish. You
I'm
gotta
not checking
let
to
them
see
fish.
if they caught
Right.
anything. Is what I'm telling you.
So you're
Yeah.
more of a preacher.
no, absolutely not.
I'm a
Professor.
3-strike person.
Absolutely. Not.
I will check in with you on 3 times, and if you're doing the same dumb shit 3 times, like I can't.
So
By the way,
there's
by the
a
way,
gray
Steph, I
area
sent you
between
3
teacher and
emails.
professor.
Huh?
But to be fair,
Listen.
you guys digressed from talking about clients
Yes.
to
We did.
employees
To now
Right.
fishing.
to children
To now
fish.
fishing.
Right, yeah.
So,
And
like,
Welcome
birds.
to
We
In the
have
Know.
birds in there.
Welcome to In the Know. You now know what you've learned today.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
really
glory
didn't
be.
learn
This is gonna be our
anything because
best.
We've been
Listen,
off topic.
That's so
Listen,
crazy.
this is
I've
going to
been
be
trying
our
to get it
best
back.
listened to show
You think
on
so?
podcast ever.
Listen,
I'm just saying I could give an employee, like a client.
Eric is not loving you guys.
so but listen,
Yeah.
here's what
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
saying.
think
Well,
he ever
Eric,
does.
Listen,
you got to
He
calm
doesn't
down.
love like
Listen.
my comments ever.
No, but
like,
listen, she's not telling her staff that. Here's all your rope. Hang yourself.
No,
I'm not saying that.
exactly.
Her mentality is, listen, I'm going to teach you enough and give you enough, and if you
all.
don't get it, gone. I don't
Like
have
if it's
time.
not
Listen,
your
listen,
industry,
we're not
then
even-
it's not your
we're
industry.
We're done with that
But
conversation.
hold on.
Talking about
So-
building business.
But like I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like when I worked in the swimming pool industry, I've told people before, it's either an industry that you're gonna love or you're gonna hate. You're either gonna make
Like the
it and
restaurants.
survive, right? Like restaurants. You're either gonna make it and survive through
Totally.
opening season,
Yeah.
or you're not.
Yeah.
It's the same thing during tax season. Either you're going to make it and survive during tax season and you find a passion in this industry and you like doing the numbers and working with it's very different when
That's-
you're having a book of business of 40 clients of different things versus you working for one singular business doing their bookkeeping.
April,
It's
that's
vastly different.
that's like running through a freeze in winter as a business owner in restoration. You're either going to make it or you're not. You're either coming out like I can do this on the first time you did it, right? Or the first big weather event, right?
Right.
As a new business owner, you're either going to come out of that going, oh, I got this. That was invigorating. I love this.
Like I never
Right?
If you're a
feel
terrible restoration owner, you're going to make money in a freeze.
Well, but you can
I'm
make,
not
make
sure how that even
hang on,
relates
hang on.
to me.
But you have
I
bills,
like
you
having
have
it
bills
here.
to pay. You have bills to pay. But I'm talking
You tell me
not
what you do
like.
when there's a drought.
Well, totally. You're right.
That's
However,
what I really want to know.
what
I
I'm
know,
what
I'm
I'm
gonna
more
check in on
saying
you when
is
there's no activity.
not the money, because you can all get through the month. Yes, the money's coming in. What I'm more talking about is your mentality of, can I learn and can I do and can I execute all this work and all this shit on my.
That's not the hard thing.
Not for everybody. Not for everybody, because not everybody is fly off and spread my wings. Some people fly off. We just went scuba diving. My wife and I just got our scuba diving, and this is a very good example. This is a very good example. Is a lot. Some people could jump off and go out and drop right down and breathe. Some people went down there just like jumping out of the nest for the first time. You don't spread your wings, you ain't gonna fly. You don't go down in a scuba gear and start breathing, you ain't gonna scuba dive.
Right.
Right? And some people have that immediate reaction. So there is, in the moment of a weather event in our industry, that is the pinnacle of go. And if you can't spread your wings or just start breathing,
You can be an absolute idiot and make money in a weather event.
you're right. But what
Thank
I'm
you.
saying is some people can't.
I disagree with that.
All right.
I feel like it's
Wholeheartedly.
not necessarily about making the money. It's being able
To
to
mentally handle it. That's what I'm saying.
understand like the step. Like, so like if
Yes.
I give
Thank you.
a customer or an employee these steps and I need them to execute these steps to be successful at said task. Like if they want to understand from estimate to receiving money. So when they send an estimate out, then these are the steps to approve the estimate. These are the steps to invoice the estimate. These are the steps to get paid. Then these are the steps to then accept payment to hit your profit and loss.
Sure.
If you can't understand these said steps that I gave you, I don't know if it's always my failure because I'm more of a professor than a teacher. Like it might not be your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or as a business owner, you could be very passionate about a specific space.
Topic.
And you need to then acknowledge that you have a shortcoming in that space and you need to
Ownership
outsource.
of, yeah.
Like I have a
1,000,000%.
shortcoming.
Conversation every day.
Right. I have a shortcoming in SEO, website.
Sure.
I am not a warm and fuzzy, soft touch kind of person.
No.
I need to hire.
Don't say.
I know,
Oh,
it's
wait.
crazy.
I
It's
just
very
learned. That's
riveting.
what I
learned
learned
this.
today.
So like I need to hire people either in the version of an employee or in a professional service that can
Right.
provide that
That's-
service for me. Like I know
sure.
that is not going to be even no matter
Okay,
how
so-
much you
I feel like
teach
we're
it
off
to
the
me,
rails.
I'm
We
not
have. I've been
Well, a
all
gonna
bit.
learn it.
I
A little bit.
tried to swoop them back, but it's gone
We're
crazy.
coming back around.
So anyway, what did we learn? We're at the time.
Oh, yeah,
what did we
we're-
learn
Wow.
today?
This show
On
went
In the
very
Know
fast.
with Steph
Did
and
it?
Joe.
Yeah.
So, what did you learn, Kent?
Absolutely. I learned.
Shut up. You learned
listen.
something today.
Here's what I learned. I learned that I'm a preacher with young people, but I'm a teacher with adults. Right?
I
thought this
learned.
was a
I
sewing
learned
show.
that Rich is more of a teacher than I really
Mhm.
thought he was.
Mhm.
I thought he was a Billy Badass, and
No, he's got so much
and
patience.
he
That guy's
just
like a sensei.
to be honest, no, I thought he was more of the do-it-himselfer. Not that he was
He
hard
is a
ass.
do-it-yourselfer, but like if
Yeah.
he has to teach somebody something,
He's
he
more
can
of a teacher than a
cater
preacher.
to that
and,
person and
that's what I learned today.
Oh yeah,
all right,
definitely,
all right,
definitely.
Steph.
I learned that tequila in the green room is maybe not the best choice.
What kind? What kind?
Super aggressive.
What kind?
I don't agree.
What kind was it?
We occasionally have some of the best,
And what else?
some of the best.
All
Green
right,
Room
Eric, have a great
and-
evening.
And during
Thanks for
shows.
tuning in.
Go ahead.
What'd you learn?
Wait,
Oh my gosh. What didn't I learn? Really?
come on. You learned that we allow you to duck out of the show, and we will give you
Here's what I learned.
an applause.
Here's the
income
truth
producing
about
activities. leave the room.
You learned that Steph can still leave you speechless because she left all of us speechless during the show. When she made her the whole where we played the crickets. Yeah.
Shayna says that your facial expressions are highlights for her.
Oh,
It's really not.
I love that you called her blonde lady's facial expressions.
She's got her subtitles on.
It's not. It's not so much a poker face, but I did learn that apparently you can fail in restoration when there's horrible, crazy weather. Like that's news to me.
I didn't say
I was going to say, I learned that if you're an idiot, I learned that if you're an idiot,
so
get into the
attacking.
restoration in a bad weather because you can make money.
I know a lot of idiots that own restoration companies. Present company excluded.
Thank you.
Look at that. That was like the first. We better document this.
Yeah, it was on. It was yeah.
We got it.
Yeah, it kind of was. Don't worry.
Listen, we got to bounce. Next week, we're talking about what?
Smell.
Schmelz.
I'm out of town.
Wait.
We are doing. You have to because you invited the guests. So Gabby from Wicked Sense is going to be coming and doing the smells and invoking memories from smells.
Yeah, here's the
sewing.
So
for sure. I thought it was going to be like some Boy Scout like rope knotting thing.
Smells and memories.
Awesome.
Smells and memories. And I'm thinking that we're going to have our special guest, Gabby, Wicked Sense in. Is that right?
Yeah. You are absolutely correct.
We'll send her a link and she'll be live.
Smells.
Yes. They have a new smell line.
Going into offices or places. And,
so true.
So this is good for like marketing and things like that. We'll talk a little marketing with those. How to make them operate. But I don't know. We're done. Shut it off.
All right.
Just end it. Goodbye.